so far. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Marissa. I work here at AddEvent, obviously, as our product marketing manager, and we are going to jump right in. When we look at the next slide, we'll kind of talk through some of the high level questions and stuff. But before we jump into that, I just want to kind of introduce everybody to AddEvent. You probably already are somewhat familiar with it, given that you are here. But basically, just want to remind people about some of our main use cases. We do see a ton of people that are coaches and working at agencies on their attendee list today. So kind of want to speak to some of those use cases that you might run into. We have the add to calendar buttons. Those are kind of our bread and butter, what you probably know us for originally. We also offer the automated add to calendar events, which allows you to do dynamic events on the fly. So that would be, think of like a confirmation page where you want to add to calendar button, or if you're sending out a webinar invite and you want a unique Zoom link for each person, you might use a dynamic add to calendar there. Also, we have embeddable calendars, subscription calendars, again, coaches. We see schools use those, sports team, et cetera. If you've got a bunch of different events that live on a calendar that you want to share, those are some great use cases for those. So I think we'll dig in a little bit more as we continue through with some of the questions that we are talking through today, but just wanted to kind of remind everybody of the different tool sets that we have. And then, as you guys know, we kind of bread and butter add to calendar buttons, but what we really do now is so much more than just that. We got started in 2015 because our founder basically couldn't find an add to calendar button on the internet, and the rest is history. And now here we are, like I said, embeddable calendar, subscription calendars, automated add to calendar, all that good stuff. Ton of usage options. If you want to talk through all of your use cases, feel free to hit me up in our support email, and I am happy to talk through any questions as far as like fun use cases that we can brainstorm. But moving forward, like I said, I'm Marissa. Our team today that we've got with you is going to be myself, and then Camilla and Derek, if you two want to just briefly introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. My name is Camilla. I am the customer support manager at AddEvent. So if you ever have any questions or need help with anything about AddEvent, it's likely that you might be hearing from me.
Or your team.
Yeah, but here I am representing.
They'd be honored to get a direct response from you. So I'm Derek Skoletsky. I am the relatively new head of product here. I think I've only been here 3 or 4 months now. But yeah, so I manage everything about current and new product development.
Gorgeous. So anything that you love in the product, that was Camilla and I. Anything you hate, that is Derek.
True. Yep.
Perfect. Well, we basically collected everybody's Q&A questions that they sent in through the form when you RSVP'd. So we're going to dive into those questions. If we don't cover your question, please feel free to reach out to support. Again, we are always available there. And if there's other questions that you have, feel free to pop them into the chat box. Again, if we don't have time for it, not a problem. We can absolutely follow up offline. So let's dive right in. First things first, we got a couple of questions about registrations and how to track that and all of that good stuff. So I will go ahead and actually stop sharing my screen, and I will let Camilla jump in.
Yes. Okay, so thank you for getting us started, Marissa. Like Marissa just said, we got a few questions related to RSVPs and tracking those. So the question here, how can you track who has already registered for your event? So AddEvent offers RSVP events. It is an awesome tool within AddEvent because they allow you to collect registrations, send reminder emails, and more. So this attendee collection is a great lead gen tool that you can utilize. And I will go ahead and show you where you can get started with RSVP. We're making the assumption that you know how to create your RSVP event and all that. If not, feel free to jump on over to our YouTube channel in the Getting Started section. That's a great resource. Or reach out to the support team. Okay, so this is my RSVP event page. As you can see here, these are the event details. And then just below it is a very important section. This is the RSVP and settings section. There's a few tabs that we will touch on, but we're mostly going to be talking about the attendees and the information and analytics that we get from our attendances. So we have one attendee here. I'm going to go through really quickly how that happened. So however you share your event, unless you're using the embeddable RSVP form, your audience will click on your RSVP button or the event page link, and they're taken to the RSVP event landing page. From here, we have this RSVP form. By default, we're collecting name and email, but if you wanted to collect more information, you can do that in a custom RSVP form, which I'll show you in just a second. They select their status of registration and then fill out their name and email. And then they're presented with a lovely add to calendar button so that they can select the calendar platform of their choice and add the event to their calendar. So that is how this arrived here. Myself. The name and email is what's, like I said, collected by default, but you would use this custom RSVP form, get more information here. In the middle here is the information that's related to IP address and location and whatnot. This can be anonymized if you're an admin user of your account. That's a setting that you can change. So don't worry if that is something you want to update, you can. And then some more analytics on your attendees is when someone RSVP'd and when they updated the RSVP. So that can be helpful information. You don't only get to view your attendees from here. You can also click all attendees. With the list of attendees, you can download this and import it into your CRM or just track it outside of AddEvent and a CRM if you'd like. Or you can integrate your RSVP events with other tools, whether it's your CRM or whatever it might be. A lot of those integrations happen via Zapier, which Derek will get into later. And then you can also share your list externally if you are wanting to share this with someone that needs your attendee information. There's an external link which can be refreshed. So if you need to revoke that access at any time for whatever reason, you can do that. So that's where you can see your attendees and their information. And then if you wanted to be notified of your attendees coming in, then by default, you would just want to check that manually here. However, you can receive an email every time someone RSVPs to your event. So you're getting all of these attendance updates and attendee data sent right to your email. Or you can get one email for a summary of each day. If you want more people on your team to receive these, then you can add additional emails. And then here's where you'd refresh that external link that I showed you a second ago. Now, I want to just quickly jump into showing you where you would be able to collect additional information. So you click Custom RSVP Form, and to create a new form, click this blue New Form, but I'm just going to use one we've got. And the name and email would be here. And then to add more fields that you want to collect, click Add Custom Fields, and you could collect or select whichever field type you would like. So if you remember registering for this webinar, we collected things like maybe what industry you're in or what questions you might have. So you can get creative with what information you want to collect. And that would just all show up here in your form. And then again, all of the information that you collect here on your RSVP event can be linked to your CRM or whatever it might be via Zapier, for example. So that is collecting information about your RSVP attendees, where you can find it all, and how you can be notified. So that's kind of the basics of that. Of course, we've got lots of help docs and, like I said, YouTube videos. So if you have any more questions about that, check there or send us an email. But that's the RSVP information. Now, on to the next.
Perfect. I think the next question that we had was, what can I do with a subscription calendar? I know that some people maybe have a little bit of confusion around subscription calendars, so we will hop this over to Derek to show you a couple cool things.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just figure out how to share my screen here. Can you see my screen here? You should see my calendar.
We can see your calendar.
Beautiful. Okay, so what can you do with a subscription calendar? I'm actually going to start a little bit before that question and answer what is a subscription calendar for those that don't know. Subscription calendar is, instead of being able to share and allow an end user to add a specific event, one event to their calendar, you can use a subscription calendar to allow them to add an entire calendar of events to their calendar. So this is very typical. This is my Google Calendar, but I'm sure a lot of you have already subscribed to various calendars like holidays and added that to your calendar, so you always have that. But you can also add other calendars to your calendar, like I have my son's basketball schedule calendar in my calendar that I can add on here. We at AddEvent had an offsite recently. We created a subscription calendar for that, so everyone in the company can add that offsite calendar to their calendar. So that's how it functions in your calendar app, and then you can always turn these off or on. So that is what a subscription calendar is. In AddEvent, the functionality is very similar to sharing an event, but you would go at the calendar level. So you go to your calendar page. Oh, crap. Hold on. Okay, so this is the calendar page, admin, and then you would share this. When you share this calendar landing page and people add it to their calendar from that calendar landing page, they would be adding the subscription. They'd be subscribing to that calendar and adding it to their calendar, just like I showed you here, which is great because that's a living, breathing calendar that now you can make changes and add stuff to, add events to, and that will update in your end user's calendar automatically, which is beautiful. So from a functional perspective, like, why would you do that? There's like tactical reasons. One, it's just easier for an end user to add an entire calendar events to their calendar versus going one by one and adding key events. So that's great. But also for you as a customer of AddEvent, it really is like a marketing channel, right? So you can use it very tactically if you just want to make sure people remember important dates throughout the year. But as a marketing channel, you can add stuff to that calendar and it'll show up in that person's calendar, which they're in every single day, right? If you think of it as a marketing channel like email, your emails get filtered out and put in different tabs. If you do Facebook posts, they get lost in a sea of other rage posts. But if you have your events in their calendar, it's something they're going to be at every day and be able to notice stuff that's coming up for your company. So really, really interesting. A lot of different use cases for that. I'll just show you a few. Like, we have a lot of pretty tactical use cases, like you want to update your staff, similar to our offsite calendar. You just want everyone on your staff to know about important events, so you could add that to the calendar that they can then subscribe to. We have a lot of schools use our subscription calendars to make sure everybody knows what their personal schedule is, what the administration calendar might be, a sports calendar for a school. So a ton of different use cases across the education space for us. This is another education use case. Again, this is how you would subscribe to that calendar and add it to yours. But we also have like education. This is an educational example, but it really is for an internal use case. All their agents can subscribe to this calendar at Keller Williams here. We also have fitness coaching programs that if you want to make sure everybody knows about all the sessions that are coming up or available for your coaching program or your fitness program, you can have a calendar that they can subscribe to and always be able to check there instead of having to figure out how to log into your website and see what's coming up. Also, sports teams. This happens to be a facility with a bunch of open slots and times that people can come play. But we also have a lot of sports teams that use us so their fans can subscribe to the calendar and make sure they know about all the upcoming games and any special events that the team might be having throughout the year. So pretty broad use cases, but I just think it's important. I'm glad someone asked this question because I think it's an awesome vehicle for getting a calendar of events that's live and dynamic and breathing on someone's calendar as a marketing channel for you. So any other use cases you can think of, guys, that I missed?
I think you covered most of them from what
Yeah,
got it.
a ton, honestly. I'm sure there's some that we've missed, but you know, those are, I think, the big ones.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Well then moving on, I know we had some questions about personalizing AddEvent landing pages, and I think some people weren't sure where to find that. They've heard that you can do that. So Camilla, if you could take us through how to personalize, where to find that, all that good stuff.
I sure can. So, I am going to start here in the dashboard again. So for each event or calendar that you create, you are provided with a unique calendar or event landing page. So these landing pages can be fully customized. I'm just going to hop into one of these templates. You do that by going to the event page or the calendar page, like so. Scrolling down to the custom template section. I'm going to start with some examples so you can visualize, and then I'll show you what customizing looks like. So here we go. This is a classic default landing page for a non-RSVP event. It's nice and clean and simple. So of course, if you wanted to use it this way, you absolutely can. If you wanted to customize it so that you're matching your branding or adding your logo, or just if you were here at the beginning, clearly I like jazz. If you want to jazz it up, you can do that. This is a RSVP landing page, and then ignore this logo up here. This would be a plain calendar landing page. But like I said, if you want to have the experience of your end users going from your website to a landing page, or your email to a landing page, and you want it to be seamless, match your branding, just have it be an overall like branded to you experience, then you can consider creating custom templates. So here's an example where someone's added a lovely background image. It just kind of is a nice, clean way to add some context of what the event might be, in addition to the event details that are on here. So for RSVP event, you can get as creative as adding some images, adding a different layout, changing the format of the landing page pretty extensively, where you can RSVP and then this form is popping up, adding it to your calendar. This one is a really unique example. I actually like it quite a lot. Then we've got a calendar landing page. So this is HBO Max. They have this very well branded landing page for a calendar. Instead of just having your list of upcoming events, they have reimagined it to provide all of the event details that you need for this particular event, along with some additional info. And then they're still collecting your email for the calendar. And then once you are able to add your information, they're presenting you with the add to calendar button. So Just a great example of how you can really make a landing page your own. One other one I want to touch on, Derek touched on the subscription calendar use case for the Philadelphia Eagles. On their website, what green is this? Is this like I think this is deeper than seafoam, but whatever green they have, it's very seamless. When you click sync to calendar, you're taken to your calendar landing page and matches their the Philadelphia Eagles color. They added a logo up here, changed the color of their add to calendar button, and just made this whole landing page look really nice. And again, very seamless in terms of colors and all of that. And they also even went as far as updating the name of the event up top. So the tab will also represent the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So now I want to jump in to show you where you can make changes to your custom templates. This is an RSVP event, but it's very similar to both calendar and event. Once you're on the event page or calendar page, you're going to scroll down to custom event page or calendar landing page section, and you'd click custom templates. The standard template is not editable, but it's the same when you create a new template. It's going to present you with all of the HTML and CSS that you can make changes to. If you scroll just below the code section, then you've got block tags. There's tags and output. What you copy from this output, you can replace it with the corresponding tag. So that's how you would edit the code. If you're not familiar with HTML, don't be too intimidated. We've got a lot of help docs and YouTube videos that walk you through step by step how to make a lot of these changes, like changing the color on your add to calendar button. So not Philadelphia Eagle green, but that's still a nice green. And then most docs have a video, so it really will take you step by step how to make these changes. So updating the color of a button, I'll jump through that one in a second. And then we also have a help doc for ready to use custom templates. All you have to do with this help doc is scroll down, find one of these templates that you think suits what you're looking to do, and you copy the code and place it right where it shows you in the screenshot. So it'll be the image of this nature theme one or the logo one. All you have to do is upload your own image into AddEvent. Really easy. There's a help doc for that as well. And then paste this code here, and you've got your own custom landing page. This help doc I want to show you also. In AddEvent, you can customize your embeddable calendar. So you can share an embeddable calendar, like Derek said, to have subscribers, or you can also just share events individually from your calendar. Like WellHub, it was the events on their website, and people can just see, oh, what's coming up. But if you wanted to add something like, which help doc was it? Like a color key, you can do that so that all of the colors that you assign your event are applied to the key. Just helps organize your events and give it a little bit of a filtering system for your end users to see. So these are the examples of how you can customize your landing pages. Have fun getting creative and making your landing pages even more beautiful than the classic AddEvent one.
Truly cannot say enough how helpful all of our help docs are. Camilla and her entire team work really hard on those. So if you haven't taken a look at those, please do. There's a lot of resources there, both on the help docs and on YouTube. And then you'll get to see everyone's smiling faces more if you watch YouTube videos. So thank you, Cami, for walking us through the custom templates. I'm going to jump in. I know we had some questions about connecting AddEvent with some of your other tools, maybe an email marketing program. There are a few things that we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. First things first, one of the things that we are pretty well known for is our integration with MailChimp. So if you have not yet seen it, and you're using MailChimp, this is a great time to start playing around with this. I've just set up a demo account for us here in MailChimp. So a couple of things to note: when you create an email, you can use our native integration with the new version of their email builder. And if you're not using the new version of their email builder and you're instead using the classic builder, that's totally fine. Classic builder will still support AddEvent. It will just be a slightly different approach that you're going to take. So if I select the new builder here, and I'm just going to start from scratch, I already have one built out, so I'm going to jump over to this one. Essentially, this has just a different user interface than the classic builder. This is the classic builder user interface. So if you're not sure which version you're using, just whichever one looks familiar to you. With the new builder, like I said, we are natively integrated here. So if you notice this app tile on the bottom left corner, you can drag that module in, and basically you can connect your AddEvent account. I've already done so, but if you haven't yet, you could just, hit the plus icon and then do the connection process. So I'm going to say that I would like to use my AddEvent account. And basically here, what it's going to do is it's going to ask if you want to share an event or a calendar. If it's an event, you would select, a specific calendar that the event is on. I'm actually just going to delete this one because I already have this one configured. And we have a lot of calendars in here. So let's just pretend I'm a coach. This is my coaching calendar, and I want to share my weekly Q&A event. Essentially, you're able to select, what event you want. So this is my reoccurring event. If I instead was doing my monthly speaker series, I could, oops, I'm so sorry. Just 1 second. My monitor just turned off, so I don't know what screen you guys are seeing.
The MailChimp one, you're good.
Cool. I don't know why that just happened. Sorry about that. Anyways, so basically what will happen is it will automatically configure this for you, so you don't have to copy or paste any code in. If you instead wanted to share an entire calendar, instead of selecting the event, you could share the calendar, and instead it's now going to essentially do the subscription calendar as opposed to the singular add to calendar event. Similar to the event, which I didn't show, but is basically the same configuration. You can change it between logos and text. So if you don't want the logos, you can do the text style. You can change how you'd like to align it, and you can remove the text if you'd like as well. So it's pretty customizable, very user-friendly. And like I said, this one's out of the box. You don't need to touch any code. However, if you are using the classic builder, you can still absolutely send out add to calendar links in your marketing emails or whatever type of email. The difference here is just going to be fairly small. Right now, if you see the choose your calendar, you'll notice this is a code block. So how you would do this is you would drag the code block in, and essentially, I'm just going to grab one of our Q&A events. I also got signed out, Derek. We are just matching today. Okay, here we go. Grab my weekly Q&A event that I want to promote, and I can jump down to the add to calendar links. These are the ones that you would use in emails, and go ahead and decide, how I want this to be configured. You can use our little editor to change it from, rounded edges to square edges to just icons, etc. And you can specify the color so that it matches your branding. So once I've done that and decided what I want it to look like, I will go ahead and click this little click to view code, and then go ahead and click that and copy this, and then go ahead and jump back into your custom HTML, delete what is in here and paste that. And that's how you'll get the new one. So this is, again, pretty straightforward, not the native integration for the classic builder, but still really friendly. Just another example, HubSpot, real quick, we can do the same thing in HubSpot. Again, any real email editor that you've got that allows you to paste code in is going to work really well. And if it doesn't allow you to paste code in, then you can always grab the link to the event page so that you can just share it in a button. For example, this is a link to the event page, or down here, we've used custom HTML to, again, link to the page. So that is how you can do that in your email marketing. And we also offer Zapier integrations. I'll let Derek speak to that real quick. It is one of my favorite things because there is just so much that you can do with it.
Yeah, cool. So that MailChimp integrations was our only real direct integration. It's super powerful and really well built. I wish I could take credit for it, but I cannot. Hold hold on. Can you see my screen? The Well Hub?
We are seeing Well Hub, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so in terms of connecting Zapier to connecting AddEvent to other tools, the best way to do that is through Zapier, which is like connections on steroids. If you're not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is a tool that allows you to connect, any app to any other app. If you've used Zapier before, this will all be review, but AddEvent has a very, very good integration with Zapier. So the way that Zapier works is there are basically two things. They call it trigger, and the second they call an action. So you can start within one app, you can trigger from one app and say, I want that, when that happens in that app, it triggers an action in another app. So you can use AddEvent on both sides of this equation, right? So if you want to set up a trigger and say, in AddEvent, if something happens, I want an action to be taken in another app, you can do that. So the two things we offer for triggers in AddEvent, from AddEvent, are when someone subscribes to your calendar. So we talked about subscription calendars before. If you require them to register for that subscription, then when they do that, you can trigger something else happening in another app. Or, as Cami just showed you, the RSVP for a single event. When someone RSVPs for a single event, you can use that as a trigger to do something else in another app. So for sake of simplicity, you could, in the most common use case is when someone registers for my calendar or my event, I want to update my CRM. So you could then connect Zapier to HubSpot and add that AddEvent RSVP to HubSpot. You can do all kinds of stuff in HubSpot, obviously, but you could as simple as create a contact with that new RSVP or update a contact record that already exists. You can add that person to a workflow that maybe you're now adding them to a sales call list or whatever it might be. So a ton of stuff you can do once that ends up in in HubSpot. But the point is, when that event happens in AddEvent, you can do all kinds of other things in Zapier and connect that to all your other tools in your stack. So that's using AddEvent as a trigger. The other way you can use AddEvent is as a action. I'm just going to delete this guy. Yes, really delete. So I'm going to use AddEvent as an action. So this says, pretend this is another one of your apps. So anything from a Google Sheet or Gmail or your CRM, if something happens in those other apps, you can then do something in AddEvent. So when you use AddEvent as an action, you can do a bunch of different things in AddEvent. So you can create an event. So if you want to do something in your Google Calendar and automatically have that create an event in AddEvent, you can do that. You can delete event, you can update an event if you change something somewhere. So some people manage events in a Google Sheet. And when they make a change in that Google Sheet, they want that to update an event in AddEvent. Or you could create actually automated add to calendar links. So there's sometimes you can take just information from a sheet or from an email, and you can automatically create an add to calendar link that you can then, it'll output it here in Zapier, and you can use that in an email or whatever. So really amazing way to automate all kinds of things, not just with AddEvent, but across your whole stack with Zapier. And I think we're doing a full-on Zapier webinar coming up, right?
Yeah. We I think have a good Zapier deep dive coming up to talk about all the different apps and tips and tricks.
Great. So I don't want to steal your thunder there. So that's as deep as I'll go with Zapier. If you don't use Zapier, sign up. It is amazing. I've used it for like 10 years, and it's just amazing app.
Yeah, especially
it works great with AddEvent.
Yeah, especially if you're a smaller team and being able to automate stuff or connect apps without needing a technical resource really is so valuable. I will just say one of my favorite things, especially for anybody using RSVP events, is sending a Slack notification anytime you get a new RSVP. As somebody who's been on the event management side of things, everybody always wants to know what the status is, and automating that and just letting them be able to see it is fantastic. So yeah, that is the brunt of the questions we wanted to cover. We really appreciate everybody sending their questions in. Honestly, moving forward, if you have any questions, like we said, you can always reach out to the support team. And if this was helpful, please let us know. We are always happy to continue to do other things like this. In the meantime, please jump back into the dashboard and get started. See if you can put any of those newfound tidbits to use. And keep an eye out. We will send a recording of this webinar. And if anybody's interested in starting a free trial of the paid plans, certain things like custom templates or embeddable calendars require being on a paid plan. So if you would like to do a free 7-day trial for that, reach out to us either via email at the support team or any other way that you can see fit. Carrier pigeon, I don't know. But thank you all so much for joining. We hope this was helpful, and we will catch you all on the flip side at the next one, hopefully. Bye.